Welcome back. Now, the outgoing moderator of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, Right Reverend Professor Martey, has alleged a political party in the country attempted to bribe him with $100,000 and a house to stop him from commenting on national issues. The man of God has urged politicians to desist from corrupt practices and focus on improving living standards.
The Presby Church moderator was speaking at the presentation of the church's 16th General Assembly communique in Accra.
That envelope, $100,000, and also with the promises that, if you keep quiet, we will give you a house at Transaco with swimming pool. We will give you 4-wheel drive. They have tried all means to muzzle me. They couldn't, and I tell you they can't. Where my task goes, you babies with sharp teeth, you are stealing the money and you don't want us to talk. We will talk today, we will talk tomorrow.
He said the Presby Church does not belong nor supports any political party. Professor Martey debunked claims he speaks in support of the opposition NPP.
Reverend Martey is more complex than you can think. How can a full professor sell his conscience to one political party?
In presenting the communique, the moderator urged the Electoral Commission to conduct this year's elections to the satisfaction of all stakeholders.
We only hope that the Commission will live up to its responsibility as a transparent, accountable and credible institution.
The communique appealed to political parties to refrain from the culture of insults and avoid provocative pronouncements that tend to breed bitterness and resentment. The Presbyterian Church also advised media houses to be circumspect with their reportage, particularly in this election year. On education, the church is worried occultism still persists in senior high schools and proposed government, Christian organizations and educational authorities open a dialogue to find a common solution to the canker. Professor Martey proposed an end to the league table for grading senior high schools, pointing it out as a factor for examination malpractices.
Right, let's do some analysis now. Vitus Azim is an anti-corruption campaigner. He's joining us. Mr. Azim, good evening. It's been a while.
Yeah, good evening.
Now, I know that there is very little we can do in terms of verifying, indeed, whether a political party offered a $100,000 bribe to the moderator of the Presbyterian Church. But what do you make of his comments?
Well, I think that from my perspective, bribery is a crime in this country. And both the giver and the receiver, if found guilty, are subject to some sanctions. And not just as a pastor, but as a citizen, when this thing happens, you have a responsibility to report to the appropriate authorities for the necessary action to be taken. And so I think that that's what he should do. Even though he has not done it for some time now. And that's what he should do instead of coming on air to make these allegations without even mentioning maybe the party involved or the individuals involved. So, it does not help in the fight against corruption.
So you think he should have gone ahead to mention the individual or political party if indeed he was offered this much money?
Yeah, I think he should even have gone to report to the appropriate authorities that somebody has come to try to bribe him. You see, there are two things there. The fellow could have used his or her own resources to come and bribe. That in itself is already a crime. But the huge sums of money involved could also be that it is not the person's individual money, but maybe some other public money that the fellow is using. And so it is important that he should report that, because how would somebody get $100,000 to bribe just to shut you up? You are not the only person speaking on these issues in this country. So you can imagine the number of people speaking on these issues. If you are going to bribe them, even $10,000 to a person is not a small amount of money.
But honestly, Professor Martey has been outspoken for a long time, and he speaks his mind, and some of that has been seen by the ruling government as pro-MPP. And so they are raising questions whether indeed we should take him serious. Should we take him serious?
Well, that's the other part of it. I think that if he really believes he's a man of God, if he believes that this is what has actually happened, he should report to the appropriate authority. If he does not report, the appropriate authorities have a duty to invite him for questioning. Because you cannot just throw these allegations in the air without any supporting information. So, yeah, those people have a right to also raise objections and concerns about the way he's put it out there. But then that's how we have authorities to go into this matter further.
And really, there are also one argument which suggests that if you bribe him, he's a man of God and he's a leader of a church. What really would you be seeking to achieve if you bribed the moderator of a church? Is it to buy his silence or to perhaps woo his congregation to your side? Really, would he be committing any crime if he took the money?
Yes, because I've read what he said on the internet. Says so that he will stop commenting on national issues. And that is a favor to anybody who is in power who does not want him to comment on those issues, because it will make them unpopular, especially in an election year. So there is a favor in return if he receives the money.
I know that the church has been cited in a couple of instances where corrupt practices has been, mentioned. For example, I mean, the typical Obinim issue is Obinim being hauled before the court for charges of fraud, and there are lots more examples. Do you think that the church as an institution is failing when it comes to the fight against corruption?
I don't think that you can make a generalized statement about the church. When you say the church, now we have so many churches. In the past, if you said the church, you are referring to universal church, which will look at maybe the Catholic Church and some of the other Orthodox churches. But now we have so many churches in the country, in the world, and so when you say the church, some churches may not be living up to expectation, but there are some churches that speak openly, speak boldly against corruption and condemn it and call for action where it has taken place. So I don't think that it would be proper and fair to generalize that the church is failing.
Right, but you wouldn't say specific churches have not been playing a good role or key role in the fight against corruption, right?
Yeah, I don't think I will also be in a position to make that statement either.
Right. Mr. Vitus Azim, we're grateful. Thanks very much for your time. Vitus Azim is an anti-corruption campaigner. And this is still news at 10.